Alright, so it is time for our next amazing panel here. And I gotta be honest with you guys, these people have voiced some of my favorite characters for years. This show, and first of all, any Rurouni Kenshin fans here? Maybe I'm proud. Thank you. Alright, we're doing good. So, just so you know, this is the Rurouni Kenshin panel. You are at the right spot, and we are just about to get started. So, what do you say we kick things off? And welcome to the stage, Dorothy Fahn. Welcome. Okay. Welcome, wherever you would like. You can lay down even if you want. There we go, perfect. Also, we got Kirk Thornton in the house. Welcome. Hey, thank you, welcome. Whatever you want to sit. And last but absolutely not least, we got Richard Cansino. Welcome. All right, whichever you like. I think you can lay down. You have enough space, bro. There you go. Nice and comfy.
This is how I got the job in the first place.
You know, funny enough, I once read a story for Rurouni Kenshin that kind of started off like that. Anyway, so thank you so much for coming. How's the show been so far for y'all?
Good, yeah, great.
It just got a whole lot better just about 30 seconds ago.
You found something out about us.
Actually, we've never met before, so...
Who are you?
Can you guys see my Star Trek socks?
Look at that! Wow!
Captain Kirk.
That's
Captain
Song of
Kirk.
Roswell.
yes.
Yesterday I had my Leonard Nimoy Spock socks. They have ears.
Oh wow! That's awesome. That is absolutely perfect. So kicking things off, so Rurouni Kenshin, in my opinion, one of the absolute best animes, just period, just ever. And I'm sorry, I'll fight you for it. When you were working on it, or even when you booked it, right? Were you even aware of how popular it already was?
I had no idea. All I knew is the studio said this is a really big show.
Nice.
They told you that much?
Wow.
I knew nothing.
I said, no, this is really,
They didn't say
really big
anything to
show.
me. They said, you want a job? And I said, yes.
They said we have a part for you. Do you want to do it? Yeah.
And
Nice.
they banged on Samurai X.
Wow.
No, we had... What happened is, the whole anime thing was an anathema to me. I had no idea that it was this popular. When we do these things, we go into a little booth with a lot of foam rubber all around us, and there's one window, and we're all by ourselves, and on the other side of the window is a technical guy
Engineer.
who runs the controls. The engineer.
Yeah, exactly.
And the director. There's 3 people involved in it. And we're doing all this stuff by ourselves in a little room. We don't have other actors
It's very
with us.
lonely.
There were more than 2 people.
I never saw anybody but 2 other people.
Wow.
There was the director
Yeah, the director.
and the director's wife.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Well, that's like at
Who was
least,
keeping us all in line.
that's at least 4 people, because I've met his wife. Now, he's married to a very beautiful and talented woman, actually.
Nice.
Well, so is her, so is her husband.
So is her husband.
Talented man.
Yeah, he's beautiful and talented. Yes.
Yeah.
Tough on him.
No, but we're sitting there basically all alone, and I had no idea that anybody would be interested in this stuff. I had none.
We had no idea. We're voice actors for hire. What do we know?
We don't know anything.
We don't know nothing.
We're really stupid. You have to be pretty stupid to be an actor in the first place. And then you have to be ugly to be a voice actor.
Speak for yourself.
But, there's always exceptions.
There you go. Smart. Very smart. So, follow up to that. When did you realize? When did it hit you? It's like, oh no, this is kind of big. This is a big deal.
Well, I don't know if I knew that it was like super popular, but I just want to say the fact that it kept going and going and going, it didn't end after like a season or two.
Right.
Kind of gave me an idea that, oh, okay, I guess maybe this is just gonna work out.
Got something else? Yeah.
You know, I looked on Wikipedia today because I knew I was having a panel and I wanted to know more about the. So
I didn't know I was going to be on a panel.
That's when I learned that it was such a big deal. No, just over the year. Actually, I've learned more recently. You know, since I've been out doing conventions, that the fans really love this show.
Absolutely.
But yeah, up until recently, it's like Richard says, we go in the booth and we have our fun and just, you know, give it all we've got, and then we just say goodbye to it, kind of, you know. And hopefully it'll come back and get positive response.
Speaking for myself, I learned that it was really popular when people tried to have sex with me everywhere I went.
That'll do it.
You know what?
That's a pretty good indication.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I
Kenshin!
What I found out, I went to my very first convention was in Trinidad. I know, in Trinidad. And people came up to me, and a couple of women said, I named my firstborn son Kenshin.
Wow.
One person came up to me, and he showed me his knuckle, and he had a scar on it in the shape of an X.
Wow.
It was an X-shaped scar. And I said, what happened? Yeah, because Kenshin has it.
Yeah.
He said, well, I had an accident and I slashed my knuckle. It was just a one slash, and I thought, boy, that would really look cool if I took a knife and slashed an X.
Okay.
And he did, and
Wow.
it looked like, I have a picture of it. I said, who should I make the autograph out to? Stupid? Well, he laughed. Come on, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's.
But, I mean, and then people will come up to me afterwards.
He made the most of a bad situation.
Yeah. But people come up to me and they said, you know, I had a really hard childhood and I watched Kenshin and it really helped me get through these hard times.
Awesome.
And almost every time that I come to a convention, I meet somebody who says that, you know, this show taught me ethics, it taught me morals, and you know, we don't realize it because we're just doing our little parts.
Sure.
We don't get to see the whole show. I've never seen the entire, I don't think I've seen one entire episode.
Wow.
Because
you go in and you record only your lines.
Yeah.
So you know very little about what's happening elsewhere in the show.
Yeah, the director says, all right, in this line, you know, this has happened and he's angry or this, and he's bored or whatever, he's sick. And the reason they do that is because dubbing is a very difficult and meticulous process. It's not like, say, an American English cartoon, original cartoon, where you usually get a bunch of crazies and you sit around the microphones and you say your lines together, and it's like acting on stage or in a movie. But in dubbing, it's very meticulous. You have to match your mouth movements as much as you can to the movements on the screen. Otherwise, it looks like this, and that doesn't work out so well. So it takes a lot of time, and it's very detail-oriented, and you can't have everybody at the same time because it'd be very
It
expensive.
would be a mess.
Yeah.
If one person flubs, you got to start all over again.
It's hard enough with one person.
Tried it before. It's interesting.
You tried it before? Kirk is directed. It's like directing actors in dubbing or pretty much anything else. It's like herding cats. Because we're all like kind of space, you know. Look, he's shaking his head right now.
In agreement.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, speaking of Kirk, for a character like Saito, right? Who was actually a real life person, right? That existed, you know, in Japan and part of the Shinsengumi and all of that stuff. So when you got the part, you know, did they tell us like, hey, by the way, you know, there's some truth to this whole cartoon thing, like, or did you just not know until maybe much later?
You know, it's been so long since we did the show.
Sure.
If they did tell me, I don't remember.
We'll go with that.
But I don't think they did.
Right.
I don't think they did. I just, you know, have been finding that out recently and doing some research on it, going, oh,
Yeah.
real dude, real sword technique.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
all
very
that
much
stuff.
so.
And I'm like, oh, that just had so much more to it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, that he was based and the guy really existed.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it adds some layers, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That actually happened to me after watching the anime, and then I forget, somebody actually told me, is that, you know, he's real, right? I was like, hold up, what do you mean he's real? Luckily, you know, Google was in its infancy. Yes, I'm old, don't judge me. And so I went over to Google, and sure enough, right? And then I found a picture of him, and he looked nothing like the character, of course.
Yeah, no, I was doing my research and I saw it.
Like,
doesn't look
I was
like
like, okay,
him.
you know what, maybe the spirit is there, like, the
Artistic
essence.
license.
Exactly, yes.
He looks much cooler in the cartoon.
Agreed, yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree.
Or
Totally,
the anime, right?
The anime, exactly. But has anybody actually brought up, you know, like a historical, you know, paraphernalia for you to sign or anything like that?
Well, someone just came up to us today with a reverse blade sword to
Oh,
sign,
nice.
which I've never
She bought
seen.
it here.
That.
She
Pretty
bought it
amazing,
here.
yeah.
There's somebody out there in this room is selling a reverse blade sword.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
pretty cool.
And that's also a testament to, again, just how popular this anime still is, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I'm pretty sure everybody here has seen, you know, we got the live action movies, we got, you know, the OVAs, we got the new serialized anime, right, coming out. So there's plenty. And so I kind of feel like there's a bit of a resurgence, right? You know, in it. But for me, it never left. But I see it now more, obviously, like I said, in Netflix, things like that, popping up a lot more.
Well, Kenshin is very similar to the Lone Ranger.
There you go. I like
Now,
that.
the
Yeah.
Lone Ranger was
These
this,
people have no idea who that is, Richard.
you know who the Lone
They
Ranger?
have no idea who that is.
Come on, you know who the Lone Ranger was?
Google it.
Google it.
Google it.
Google it.
He was this cowboy who was a good guy, and he wore a mask. No one knew who he really was, and he would go around and kind of a vigilante, but he never killed anyone. He was the fastest gun in the West, and he always shot, and he'd shoot the gun out of the bad guy's hand. And it's a lot like Kenshin. It is the Japanese version of that. You know, he doesn't kill anybody. He has these fights with these bad guys, and that kind of a thing. It resonates with people. It
That's
doesn't matter
interesting.
what the culture is. It resonates.
It's very interesting. You have a good point there, and it definitely resonates with people. You know, like we said, there's plenty of fans still. There's plenty of fans discovering, right, the anime for the first time, and again, the franchise is doing just great, right? So, so you mentioned the reverse blade, right? What do you think is maybe the weirdest thing that you got to have signed, you know, at a con?
From Rurouni Kenshin?
Right.
Probably that.
Yeah, that's.
I've never seen one before. It was really cool. Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, different.
I mean,
you know.
besides the cross-shaped
Unique.
knuckle,
I
right?
will say unique.
Yeah, he didn't
Which
ask
is
me to
which,
sign.
which is hard to top. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the
Yeah.
cross-shaped knuckle. That's up there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's. Have you had any really weird stuff?
Not specifically for Kenshin, but I definitely have some weird stuff.
That was when you were in a rock and roll band.
Nice. That's awesome. So we've talked about a little bit of, you know, why you think there's definitely some lasting effect, right? But once the, you know, the anime was out for you, right, with your work, did you still get that feeling, you know, back then? You're like, you know what? I think this is still gonna continue for years to come.
We never really know that. You might work on a show and you think, God, this is great. This is just gonna, go on forever, and it does not. And another one that you're like, yeah, this is good. Okay, yeah, sure. And then it's never know. Never know.
There's shows that I thought were absolute garbage, and they were huge hits.
I the same thing. I've been on shows that had like 12, 16 episodes. I thought this is the greatest show ever, and that's it. And then another show has got like 250 episodes. And I first started working on it, I went, this thing sucks. but yeah, so yeah, we, like Dorothy said, you never know what's going to resonate.
Interesting.
Well, for instance, Kenshin, there were two versions. And the first version, most people seem to not like it so much. I thought it was great.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, but we're Westerners. And there are scenes, you know how before Kenshin has a fight, he's always talking to the villain or the opponent. There's always a lot of talk back and forth. And when the first season, we didn't really understand what that was about. We would say, why are they talking at each other like that? And so they would just, they wrote in insults. They would just insult each other. And the writers are very funny guys, and the insults were very funny.
Nice.
And we were having a blast reading it. It was really funny. And the fans were like, this sucks. This isn't anything like the original Japanese.
It was a little irreverent.
So then,
But we had a ball doing it.
we had a lot. So then they redid it, and it was more authentic. And I kept saying so the bad guy would say something like, I'm going to attack you using the dragon attack. And then Kenshin would say, well, I'm going to defend that with the lotus defense. And it's, oh, well, then in that case, I'll switch to the scorpion attack. And I'm like, this is so stupid. The poor director was a Japanese lady, very sweet. And she had such a hard time with me because I would get so frustrated. And I'd say, this is so stupid. Why are they telling them what they're... If you're playing baseball, the pitcher doesn't say, all right, I'm going to throw you a curveball on the inside corner.
No, yeah, exactly.
And I was going crazy. And then I did a movie. It had nothing to do with anything. But one of the characters in the movie, or not the character, the actor, was I think he was a Japanese American, or Chinese. Anyway, he was a martial artist. And he was talking about kendo, which is like the Japanese version of fencing.
Right.
He says, well, in Western fencing, it's all parry, cross, parry. It's all reaction. You try something, you react. He says, in kendo, it's different. You strike a pose, and the guy sees the pose, and all the things are named. So a guy goes, all right, that's the scorpion attack. And when the other guy sees it, okay, the way to defend that is to do the lotus position. And the other guy sees that. So you see these guys, if you watch a kendo contest, you'll see a lot of this back and forth before anybody does anything.
I dance like that.
And then somebody sees an opening, and it's over.
Yep.
And I realized that. So you can't do that on a stage or in a movie.
Right.
Or if you see two guys doing this, especially to a Western audience, it's going to look stupid, especially in an animation. So they had to talk and explain what they're doing while they're doing it.
Right.
And then I understood why they were doing it, and I had to come back and apologize to the director for being such a hard person.
He was a pain in the neck.
Well, she said I made her cry.
Oh.
You did not.
That's what she said.
Oh my
Yikes.
It would come home and
I didn't know this about you.
that's what Eric said. Well, I wasn't complaining about her. I was complaining about the show. And she
I
said,
cry every time I have to direct Richard.
because I tell him about my life. Let me tell you about my wife. I'll tell you. I took my wife to Paris, but she found her way home.
Yes.
My wife and I, we were married, we were happy for 20 years. Then we met.
Exactly. Oh man. All right, guys. So that's just about all the time that we got here. But I do want to thank you personally. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the anime. So thank you so much for putting in the effort, putting in the work. Thank you for coming out here, meeting the awesome fans like the ones here. Give it up for the cast of Rurouni Kenshin, guys. And remember, they are here. Go stop by their booth. Talk to them a little bit more, pick up a picture, an autograph, all of that good stuff. So thank you so much, and I will see you in about 5 more minutes for the Invader Sim panel. So stick around.
Thank y'all guys.
Thank you.